Hi Year 2, this is your directed study flipped learning session. This is the second lesson on concepts of physical activity, and today we're going to look at PE and school sports. So if you just have as your subheading PE, because that's the first one we're going to start with. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain the characteristics and functions of physical education and school sports. Let's start then with the characteristics of PE. So characteristics of PE. If at any point you need to pause the recording to take down your notes, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you watch and listen all the way through and add examples where necessary. So characteristics of physical education. Across the top there, we've got swimming, badminton, football, tennis, basketball, golf. Some of these activities you might have experienced when you were at school in PE. Remember, in concepts, we're looking at the activity and then how it fits into the different concepts. So looking at PE, first of all, it's compulsory. So you have to be in school. It's a legal requirement and you've got a moral obligation as well. And you have to attend and join in with those PE lessons. It's compulsory and it's done in school time. Individually, you don't get much of a say in what you want to do in PE. The PE department and the teachers decide the activities and the scheme of activities for the year, but those activities are available for all the pupils, so the activities are available for all, and actually you can experience quite a wide range of different activities. So you might do a number of weeks doing trampolining, you might do a number of weeks doing tennis, you might do a number of weeks doing dance, something like that. The teacher is in control and has authority in the lesson, and they will deliver the activity using formal teaching and learning. They will be following the national curriculum and a framework of assessment. This makes it highly organised, and the lessons too are highly structured and organised, with the teacher pre-planning what they're going to be doing, and they will occur at specific times on the timetable. There might well be some in-class competition, but a lot of the time the teacher's wanting to develop skills, so we'll set up modified or small-sided games, and although some rules will exist, they might be limited. And there is a huge emphasis in PE on taking part, and the rewards in the main are intrinsic. So you should, through taking part in physical activity in your PE lesson, gain some enjoyment, some satisfaction, develop some social skills, but you might also achieve some goals, for example, a successful smash in badminton. So just maybe pause the presentation for a moment while you get those key characteristics down. Let's just spend a minute now trying to apply these to badminton like we did last week. Don't forget, you should be able to apply these to any activity, but we're focusing in on badminton. So in your compulsory PE lesson, you might learn badminton skills such as the net shot, the overhead clear, all the things that are laid out in the national curriculum. The teacher will lead and control the lesson. They'll pre-plan the lesson and pupils will follow instructions. So they might have drills on serves, for example, with hoops in the floor in which to aim for. The lesson will be highly structured with formal teaching, learning and assessment. So skills development and modified games might take place to practice those skills. And like I said, there might be limited rules. So if we were doing badminton, we might just play half-court badminton, but we might do kind of a round robin up and down the courts of the sports hall. What I'd like you to do now, and again, you'll just need to pause the presentation while you do this, is have a go at seeing if you can spot the differences between PE, so physical education that we've looked at this week, and then physical recreation that we looked at last week. I've given you one side of the table, so I've given you some of the key characteristics. Remember, in an exam, you'd need to be able to explain these, but for now, I just want these key comparisons, these key differences between the two. So you might just want to pause the video for a second while you do that. Please make sure you complete that table in your summary books and bring it to class with you, obviously, next week for us to review. Okay, once you've done that, let's just have a quick evaluation of PE. So how are those things that we learn in PE maybe going to help us in other concepts of physical activity, and how might they be a hindrance? So first of all, if we develop skills and knowledge, so a range of different skills in a range of different activities and the rules and the tactics, it might give children the confidence to join a school club, so school sport, or to play competitively for a club outside of the school and develop their talents even more. Because it's compulsory and PE involves physical activity, it helps pupils develop positive attitudes to healthy lifestyle. They understand the importance of keeping fit, and hopefully that'll encourage lifelong participation in physical activity in the future. However, because there are a wide range of activities on offer, there's often very little time to develop more advanced skills. So although you get a good foundation of skills for different activities, you might not develop those more advanced skills in PE. The other thing is, depending on peer pressure, you might put in less effort when you are in your PE class than you might do if you were part of a club outside of school, for example. Okay, moving on now to school sport. So we've looked at PE in school and we've looked at sport outside of school, but now let's have a look at school sport. I'm going to go through the characteristics with you and a couple of examples, so do pause if necessary. School sport is carried out in free time, so it's when you join the sports clubs at lunchtime or after school. It's in your free time. You don't have to go, you can choose which sports clubs to go to. It's voluntary, it's fairly relaxed and informal. Sometimes you'll have specialist coaches or teachers who specialise in certain sports controlling the sessions to develop individual talent. So a PE teacher with a background in netball, for example, may well coach the netball team. Students and pupils can develop specialisms. So some people, think about what you did at high school. You might have only gone to one sports club and developed one sports club. So you might have been in the basketball team and that's all you did. Others of you might have gone to a range of different activities. School sport can be selective and elitist, so the teachers or the coaches will select teams for the inter-school competitions. So it's not always available to all. All children should be able to go, but when you're playing competitively, that might then become selective and elitist. Where we do have inter or intra-school matches, school sport can be very competitive where everybody's aiming to win, so we've got that serious end product. The matches are highly organised with written rules set out by the national governing bodies, for example, strict numbers on teams, boundaries. And the rules will be enforced by coaches or officials, and often the games will involve pre-planned strategies that you've worked on in your school sports club time. You do get both intrinsic and extrinsic rewards from taking part in school sports, so the fun and the satisfaction and the enjoyment. But if you're entering competitions, there is the opportunity for medals and trophies, which are your extrinsic rewards. Just a quick application. So you might choose to go to the badminton club and compete in badminton matches after school in your free time. Though it's voluntary, you might feel some moral obligation to your teammates to attend. If you don't go, you'll let them down. It's likely that your session will be led by a specialist badminton coach or teacher who will control the activity and develop strategies and more advanced skills. And during that inter-school match, you'll play to the official national governing body rules. So full-size courts, you play to 21, play to the specific boundaries. The outcome is serious as players play to win with the hope of winning any trophies. For example, if they win the league, those extrinsic rewards. Although there are some schools who focus much more on participation during their school sport. So it really is, they'll rotate the teams, and it really is open to more pupils. Let's just have a look at some evaluations of school sport. So because it involves competition and coaching, it's likely that the quality of performance will be better than if you simply played as a physical recreation. So for example, in netball, we might see more accurate passes, interceptions, more shots on target. However, because training time is limited to maybe an hour, half an hour, or short lunch breaks, children might not develop the advanced skills. It's more relaxed and informal than the concept of sport on its own, so children might put in less effort or not concentrate as much, causing a reduction in performance. So if they're not concentrating, they can miss interceptions, they might have slower reaction times. Some schools can overstress the importance of winning, and this can lead to deviance, so things like cheating and aggression. And children might overtrain, which can lead to burnout. It can also lead to a low morale if children are unsuccessful in those teams. And then finally, what I'd like you to finish off with in your summary books is just an overview of some of the common functions of physical recreation, sport, PE and school sport to individuals and society. Some of these we've looked at already. A great way to remember it is the word positive. So if you have a quick look across, by taking part in a physical activity in any of these concepts, you're going to develop physical skills and competencies. Don't forget, if we're looking at school sport and we're looking at sport, those might be more advanced. It occupies your time in a positive way. So it encourages social control, keeps people off the streets. We've got reduced crime rates. It develops social skills and friendships and integration within the community. We've got increased morality, so sportsmanship and fair play develops. It can develop skills such as teamwork, communication and leadership, making you more employable. It increases health and fitness, positive attitudes to health, and hopefully reduces things like obesity and heart disease, putting less strain on the NHS. It's got a variety of mental benefits such as problem solving, decision making, and we can also boost our confidence and self-esteem when we achieve our goals. And finally, the E is for enjoyment. We can develop these intrinsic benefits.